these were the last two of the Girl of Now perfumes that I haven't ever had the chance to test or try out or smell in store. So I thought I would just have a quick sniff of them, thought that would be really fun. I have the original Girl of Now. It took me a while to come round to it, and I think that's mainly because of the florals and the patchouli. And also, if I'm being real, there is definitely something synthetic in the original Girl of Now and the whole line, in fact, that I don't love, but it doesn't bother me a huge amount in the original version. So obviously the original is pistachio and pear, it's mandarin in the top, and then almond, orange blossom, magnolia. You've got tonka, you've got cashmerian, and then you've got patchouli. It's sexy, it's syrupy, it's sweet. It's one I can really only wear in winter, and it's kind of a special occasion perfume, like a date night or a party perfume for me, because otherwise I find it a bit overwhelming. And that is due to the sweetness mixed with the florals. I get a lot of orange blossom, and that patchouli really comes through in the base. But the sweetness of the, I'd say less pistachio, mainly almond, that creamy sweet almond with the tonka almost gives it a honeyed quality, and it's really pretty. So I also bought, and will be passing on, to be fair, Girl of Now Shine. That one smells very much like the original, but it has a pineapple note in it. So, I mean, I just don't love that because I feel like it's a not quite as nice version of the original. It also has like ylang ylang and iris mixed in with other things, but I think it's not quite as sweet. Although it really dries down to smell very similar to the original. When you first spray it, you get pineapple, and it's quite sharp to me. It almost smells like cooked, unsweetened pineapple. So just a regular pineapple with no sugar, but kind of baked or fried or something. Um, so it does kind of mean it's a more kind of more of a warm weather appropriate version of the original Girl of Now. But I just feel like it's a bit redundant in my collection because I don't like it as much as Girl of Now, and I don't really like the patchouli in Girl of Now in warmer weather. Like it just comes out too much on my skin. So I don't love Shine, but I do. It's one that I would still happily recommend. I tested out Girl of Now Forever in store, and I hated it. So Girl of Now Forever is, it's got some of the classics from Girl of Now. It's got the orange blossom, the cashmere, and the patchouli, the almond, but it has raspberry in it and rose. And it's just one of those classic rose and raspberries that I find extremely screechy, like really aroma chemically screechy, very sharp, piercing quality to it, on top of a very kind of sweet perfume. And I really didn't like that one. It didn't float my boat. So that's not one that I would recommend, just purely because I don't like that screechiness in there. And that brings us to these two lovely guys. So I'm going to start with Girl of Now Lovely because I think that one came out before Petals. Beautiful, love the bottles. This has got a lovely deep colour. You can see it's got some information here. Solar Frangipani. So Girl of Now Lovely, I was interested in this purely because it's like a kind of herbaceous version of the original. It has mint and it has rosemary in it. Um, so it's also got like galbanum. That's also quite a green note, and anise. The problem for me here really is that there's also a decent dose of ambroxan, and the problem with this is like I kind of like how it starts out. So I like that mintiness, and I was quite excited at first. So I'm just going to respray this. I have tried this on my skin as well. Oh, yeah, I kind of like that rosemary and mint smell you get in the top of this, on top of the sweetness. And in a very strange way, it reminds me, but only an element of it, of my Jose from Eisenberg, but it's not as sweet. And also, therefore, reminds me a tiny bit of Amethyst Haze from the Carolina Herrera Confidential line. It almost has a texture and a little bit of a scent that's similar to those. And those have lavender in. I think it's the rosemary here that's doing that. I think they both have mint in as well. I know Jose has mint. But then this kind of moves into the orange blossom direction. So it moves quite quickly. You're still getting that mint and rosemary, but you get that orange blossom really strongly starting to come through. You get some of the anise, and it's an anise that I find slightly similar to the one in the Lolita Lempicka perfumes, and I really, really like that. But my excitement kind of died out because then the more it dried down, the more the patchouli came out, and the more it got a little bit painful to me, and that is normally due to ambroxan. I'm actually wondering if there's ambroxan in the original version and why that one on certain days, certain times of the month, when I'm in a certain mood, that one can be a bit like overwhelming and irritating to me as well. I really have to be in a specific mood for that perfume. So maybe they all have ambroxan in. It's very possible. But yeah, this is probably this is like I'd put this third. So I think the original is the best one. Shine is the next best, and then this would be my third. Yeah, it's soapier, I think. Again, rosemary is very soapy. You've got blackcurrant bud, you've got galbanum, you've got orange blossom, frangipani. So frangipani can go a bit lotiony for me. So I feel like this is just ending up smelling a bit soapy. Yeah, so it's like a not as sweet, not as strong, soapier, greener, more herbaceous version of the original. That's what I would say this one is. And I don't love it, but it's nice. It's nice enough. It's not one I have any desire to wear, basically. But yeah, so that is Girl of Now Lovely. And then Girl of Now Rose Petal. Very beautiful bottle, this one. So this one came out last year, so 2024. So this is the newest one in the line. I do really love the way this bottle looks. I think it's beautiful. So I'm just going to take a little spray of this guy. This has the kind of eye-piercing, head-splitting quality that I get from quite a lot of rose perfumes. It's got a sharpness, the white musk is screechy, the rose is screechy, the magnolia is screechy, and the peach. The peach, thankfully, isn't very sweet, it's a bit tart. I mean, this is better on skin, this one, for sure, than it is on paper. But it's giving me the same feels that I get when I smell Idol and the Idol range from Lancome. All of them are like head splitting to me. They all have something so piercing in them. And again, I'm pretty sure it's some kind of modern aroma chemical. I've smelled it in many perfumes. I smell it in a lot of rose perfumes, actually. I can see what they were getting at with this one though, and it's the magnolia makes this quite soapy. Its top comparison is Delina Exclusive. I just don't like any of the Delinas. I think they all smell toxic and chemically. Compared to Chloe, but I don't think so. Let me just have a look and see if there's anything in here I recognise. No, nothing that I think smells. Oh, there's a Lacoste that I do think smells a little bit like this one. I can't even remember the name because it's something ridiculous like 1.2.3 or whatever. I can see what they were getting at here, but I just don't think they've reached the heights. But I would say, like, if you want a delicious, girly, pink-smelling, fruity rose, this is not the one I would go for. If you want something really soapy and not overly sweet, then this might work for you. But for me, what I would think of for the perfect alternative to something like this is my favourite rose, my favourite fruity rose, which is Jean-Charles Brousseau Fleur d'Ombre Rose, or Fleurs d'Ombre Rose. Never, never, never the original ombre rose. That's a kind of more vintage, powdery, classic rose. But Fleurs d'Ombre Rose in a pink bottle that's the same kind of pink shade as this. That one is raspberries and mangoes and blackcurrant and all these juicy, delicious fruits with a fabulous kind of sheer pink smelling rose watery style rose. And I feel like that kind of fruit with a rose watery rose is what they're going for here. But I find the magnolia quite strong, quite soapy, and it overwhelms the fruit. Yeah, I don't love it. Um, it's definitely better when it dries down, but I just know this would give me a headache. I can feel it just sniffing it from the strip. But yeah, I would never be able to give this a full wear test. It's just too screechy for me. So looking at the comments, some people have said it's too musky. Oh, it's not a Delina exclusive. It's Delina La Rose. Okay. Someone on Fragrantica has said smells like a middle-aged, neat woman's bathroom counter. I love it. Moisturizer meets facial tonic meets deodorant. Ah, yeah, I can. Yeah, yeah. A bit of a screechy magnolia and rose. That's what I'm getting from here, and I don't love it. I think you can get something a bit nicer than this, but I'm sure this works really nicely on some people. But yeah, so that's not my favorite. I feel like my ranking of Girl of Now would be the original number one, the Shine would be number two, this one would be number three, Girl of Now Lovely, Rose Petal would be four, and then Girl of Now Forever would be very much at the bottom. That is the one that was the most chemically to me. So yeah, so I mean, these are really fun to smell anyway. They may not be my kind of vibe, but they're super fun to smell. And I think I'm probably just going to stick with the original. I don't really feel like I need any of these other ones. I just don't think any of them are as nice. So, but what I like about Elie Saab Girl of Now perfumes is they do seem to be keeping their prices at a more reasonable designer price than a lot of other designers. Like designers like Burberry and stuff, their prices have skyrocketed, and Elie Saab seem to be a bit more stable, and they're not ripping off their customers quite as much. So even if they're not necessarily my kind of perfumes, because they're often very floral, very orange blossomy, and quite heavy on the patchouli, and sometimes quite woody. So they're not necessarily my favorite kind of perfumes, but I did want to talk about them anyway because I think because I like affordable perfumes, I feel like these are continuing to be a little bit more affordable than a lot of the other options. But I still think the original Girl of Now is the best one. Like by quite a long way, I'd say. But anyway, let me know what you think of these. Let me know if you've smelt them. Thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you're interested in watching more of my videos. And thanks for everyone else who's already subscribed. You're awesome. All right, bye guys.